amount of time. I want it all.
Our team thrives in these situations. It's always a battle when LSU plays Alabama.
Just like fire.
We've gone through so much adversity. We've fought back, so I know that our team can do this.
It's going to be a moment of grit, fight, and heart.
Just like magic, I'll be flying free.
We've been, but we don't break. We've been the comeback kids all year. No loss is going to define us.
From the last pitch to the last inning, we always have a chance to win. We worked all year for this, so we're ready.
Two SEC foes with a deep history. 75th meeting all time between 10th-seeded LSU and 6th-seeded Alabama. LSU took 2 of 3 from the Tigers this season in Baton Rouge and eliminated Alabama from the World Series a year ago. This side of the bracket has a winner's game tonight with Oklahoma and Michigan. The winner of this game, though, will move on to another elimination contest and will take on the loser of Georgia and Auburn, setting up another SEC showdown. And with that, we welcome you back into the broadcast booth at Hall of Fame Stadium. Adam Amin, two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough. Laura Rutledge will join us in a moment as well. Alabama has had as consistent of an offense, maybe not the most prolific, but as consistent of an offense as there is in college softball. The only 2 times that they've been shut out this year have come at the hands of the Oklahoma Sooners, including 3-0 in 8 innings last night.
Well, Paige Parker just, I think, stepped up her game here in Oklahoma City. But Alabama was unable to really get anything going against her. Left 6 on base. But that's the thing about being here in Oklahoma City. When you have your opportunities, you have to make the most of them. It's all about timely hitting.
Yeah, the timely hitting didn't really come for Alabama last night. It did for Oklahoma against Alexis Osorio. Shane Knighton, who had walked them off earlier this season against Alabama, does it again against her old travel ball teammate.
Came down to the last of that, got to walk off, and what a moment for Oklahoma. But I think it just kind of surprised Alabama. They were thinking that maybe they were going to go 9, 10, 11 innings to try to get the win.
Right now, Alabama is in its longest scoreless stretch of the season, and it's only 9 innings. That's how consistent Haley McClenny and this Alabama offense have been this year. They dropped 2 of 3 earlier this season against LSU in Baton Rouge, and again, as we mentioned, saw their season end at the hands of the Tigers a year ago. Timely hitting comes from the heart of this LSU order, arguably one of the best 3-4-5 trios in all of college softball. They didn't get it done in a 2-0 loss against Michigan last night.
Yeah, in order for LSU's offense to really click, it's the middle of the lineup with upperclassmen that have to be able to step up. And these are hitters who have proven themselves all over the LSU record book. So in order for LSU to step up their offense, Bianca Bell, Savannah Jaquish, and Kelsey Kloss need to step up their game.
They have combined for all 5 LSU home runs against Alabama this season. Those are the top 3 home run hitters in LSU history: Bell, Jaquish, and Kloss. Alexis Osorio got beat up in 2 starts when maybe she wasn't fully healthy this year against LSU. She has not done well, so Sydney Littlejohn, who's had better success against the Tigers, will take the circle.
Yeah, she's much different looking than Alexis Osorio, who relies heavily on her rise ball. Littlejohn's best pitch is going to be her curveball. That's what she's known for. That's her bread and butter. And that, in the course of her career, is what she's grown accustomed to throwing. She'll throw in the low 60s, not going to blow the ball by you, but it's her curveball on both sides of the plate with major break on it that makes it very difficult to barrel up the ball against her.
LSU offensively will come to face Littlejohn. Here's their Capital One starting lineup. It'll lead off with Sandra Simmons at first base, Bailey Landry in right, a pair of lefties. There's Bell. She's at third. It'll be Savannah Jaquish, the DP, and then Kelsey Kloss, the 3 prolific power hitters in the 3-4-5 spots. Elise Thornhill, the left-hander, in left field. Constance Quinn is at second base, batting 7th. Amber Surratt, the freshman shortstop, hits 8th. And Emily Griggs, another lefty, is in center field, rounding out this LSU lineup. Tigers are the road team here in what is officially Game 8. But chronologically, just the 6th game that we're playing here at the Women's College World Series this weekend. Veteran of 253 career starts, Sandra Simmons climbs in to start off this elimination contest between a pair of SEC foes. Littlejohn starts it up at 2:22 with a pitch upstairs, called by Chris Drum, the home plate umpire. Cody Little is at first. Leah Bowen is at third. LSU had to find a new leadoff hitter. They had switched around a couple of different batters and finally have settled on Simmons the second half of this season. After A.J. Anders, the outstanding leadoff hitter for so long for LSU, graduated. The movement on that pitch, and it clips the corner for a strike.
That's that backdoor curveball that she'll throw outside these left-handed hitters. It's an inside pitch to righties. Bring it down a little bit. The first couple of curves that she threw to Simmons missed just a little bit high.
Two-one delivery. 3-1 on Simmons. Career offensive season for Sandra Simmons. The 371 clip. And has gotten hot with some power as of late. 3 postseason home runs out of the 5 that she's hit. Taps one foul at the plate and stays alive at 3-2. Remember that 2 of those home runs came in the clutch moments of the SEC tournament, knocking off Kentucky and Kelsey Nunley, the SEC Pitcher of the Year, beating Tennessee en route to falling in the SEC tournament championship game against Alabama. And then Simmons had a big home run in the James Madison series in Game 2 to help LSU stay alive and eventually win that series on the road.
You know, I think that Simmons is a type of player that can thrive anywhere you put her.
Yep.
And that is a great asset to have in your leadoff spot, because you want somebody who wants to be there. Will have really quality at bats.
3-2. Down the right field line towards the corner. Hawkins at the wall. It's gone! Big bat in the postseason for Sandra Simmons. 1-0 Tigers.
For the most part, Sydney Littlejohn was trying to work the outer half to Simmons. This pitch right here was trying to make its way on the inside corner, but just didn't have enough to get there, and Simmons makes her pay to start off this game with a home run. What a leader for LSU, and gets them on the board first in this elimination game.
40-2 on the year as LSU when they've scored first in a game. Trying to do it for their pitching staff, which is top 5 in the country in team ERA. Bailey Landry, another lefty at the top, who also seems to step up in the biggest moments with a bigger bat in the postseason, is ahead of the count. First run scored by either team at this World Series. After both teams were shut out last night. Again, the decision to go with Sydney Littlejohn. Alexis Osorio has not had as good of a run in her 2 starts. Now, granted, she wasn't fully healthy earlier in the season when taking on a potent LSU offense. And remember, she threw 131 pitches last night. 1-2.
A quick turnaround for both of these teams, too. They played pretty late last night, had the last game, and come back about, what, midday? I don't even know what time it is anymore because that first game was so long.
2-2 on Landry. Bouncer over the head of Runyon into left field. Base hit for Landry, who takes a big turn, but thrown in by Case to keep her to a single.
Both of these offenses in this game just going to be looking to break out, knowing that they didn't score any runs in last night's game. Good execution here by Landry to put the ball on the ground, chop it over Runyon's head, find her way at first base. Both hits in this inning coming with 2 strikes.
So now it is Bianca Bell. Bell, Jaquish, and Kloss, a combined 1 for 9 with 3 strikeouts. Back to Littlejohn, off her glove, picked up by the shortstop. Booker tried to tag the bag with her foot to beat Landry, but she's safe at second. The first 3 have reached for LSU.
Simmons and Landry getting 2 strikes in their at-bats, but Bell seeing the first one that she likes and hitting it hard right back up the middle. Littlejohn trying to defend herself, and the speed of Landry is going to get in there to second. Bailey Landry is so fast. 2 runners on for LSU.
And an early trip out there for Patrick Murphy. Close play. Right idea by Booker, but Landry, by millimeters, got there first.
I think she got her spike in there.
Yeah. Might have been just by a spike that she was saved. So Patrick Murphy took over as the head coach of this program in '99. Great success in the NCAA tournament and, of course, a national title in 2012. His 11th Women's College World Series. Been in the NCAA tournament every year under Murphy. Every super regional as well. It'll be an error, a tough one, I think, against Littlejohn. Easily could have made that a single for Bell. Either way, 2 on, and here is Jaquish. Time granted to Jaquish, who has hit 46 home runs in her career, second most all time in LSU history, but hasn't hit one since April the 29th. On the other side for LSU, it's Beth Torina. 3rd trip to the Women's College World Series, including her first year in 2012 and last season in 2015, after taking over for Yvette Girard. Remember that before the 2011 season, Patrick Murphy had been announced as the head coach of LSU. The press release had been sent out. The press conference was held, but a couple of days later had a change of heart, said that his heart was in Tuscaloosa and he needed to be there and didn't want to commit to LSU if he wasn't fully committed to it. So he went back to Alabama, and Beth Torina was hired as Yvette Girard's replacement. In the short right, Chandler Dare. 1 down. Defensively, Alabama did commit an error in Game 3, an error in 8 of its last 10 games. McClenny might be the best center fielder in all of college softball. Outstanding in the outfield. Runyon gets the start over Grantham at 3rd base tonight. Booker, Dare, Lafayette, and Dykes behind the plate. Here is Kloss. On the ground to first, knocked down by Lafayette to the bag, and 2 down.
I talked about early on who's going to need to step up with runners in scoring position and be big in this game, and I said Bell, Jaquish, and Kloss. Jaquish fly ball out, Kloss ground ball out.
LSU went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position in Game 1, or Game 4 rather. Their first game. Here is Elise Thornhill. Baton Rouge native, and the freshman lefty takes a strike from Sydney Littlejohn. The SEC established softball in 1997. So LSU and Alabama have met every year for the last near 2 decades. 41-33, LSU has the all-time advantage. This is meeting number 75 between these two. 1-1. In there for a strike.
Bianca Bell at second base right now is going to relay the sign to her hitter Thornhill. You can see right there on her left hip. Makes it easy because her batting gloves are white, her pants are gray.
And LSU, a skilled team when it comes to relaying signs and trying to pick pitches, with Beth Torina at 3rd base doing the coaching as well. Try that backdoor pitch again and just missed. 2-2.
I think some hitters that might mess you up. Some hitters like it. Just depends on your teammate. You should know each of your teammates and know if they're the type of hitter that wants to know what's coming or not. Some batters don't like it.
Yep, flashing him again. And a 2-2. Again, that same backdoor pitch. Trying the corner a couple of times and missing. And the count runs full on the freshman.
Really close pitch on the outside corner, but trying to get everything she can with that backdoor curveball, but I can just miss it.
2 on, 2 out. Solo Simmons home run giving LSU an early lead. 3-2. Looked like almost 3 times she tried to hit that same spot. And Littlejohn loses Thornhill, loads the bases for Quinn.
That's the hitter too that you want to go after is Thornhill. Hasn't been an everyday starter for LSU. Only about 50 points lower than Quinn, who Constance Quinn is an everyday starter for this team. Very athletic, has been clutch at times. You let Thornhill get away.
She's bumped her average back up this year after a junior year where she hit under 275. There for a strike. On her sophomore year, she hit under 275. Had a great freshman season. Has bounced back nicely as Quinn as a junior. Nothing in 2. Littlejohn with a chance to limit the damage here in this first inning for Alabama.
Other thing is, I think that Littlejohn is a pitcher who definitely throws better to right-handed hitters than she does left-handed hitters. Simmons, a lefty, hit the home run.
Landry and Thornhill, lefties, have a hit and a walk. Here's the 0-2. Outside. Oh for 7 with runners in scoring position so far. LSU, a team that hit .338 in that spot overall. 0 for 12 with runners on base. Could not get the timely hits against Megan Betza in Michigan last night. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the first. 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
That's really been their Achilles heel this year, if there's been anything, because they returned so many starters into their lineup, but it's just been their lack of timely hitting. Pitching staff's been the same, been solid for them. A little bit of few errors on defense, but gotta have that timely hitting.
Two. Check swing roller foul off of Quinn's foot. Earlier this season, LSU had a rocky middle stretch of the season where they ended up going 5-9. Got shut out 5 times in that stretch, including in a full series against Kentucky. In that series, they went 2 for 40 with runners on base. There have been flashes this year where LSU's offense goes away a little bit. Trying to get the clutch hit here on 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quinn. Littlejohn gets her and limits the damage to just 1 run in the top of the first. But the Tigers are on top after a half inning. After Sandra Simmons goes deep.
The senior in an elimination game, starting off the game with a solo shot, not wasting any time in this game to get her team on the board.
Sandra Simmons, 4 home runs of her 6 this year have come in the postseason, and the Tigers are on top through a half inning. It'll be Carly Hoover getting the start today for LSU. Inning of relief last night, did give up the 2-run base hit to Tara Blanco, but she has had some success against Alabama in her career, including getting a save in the Women's College World Series last season and pitching very well against them in a couple of starts. Let's see how Carly plans for success against Alabama. It's brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, she's definitely known as a hard thrower. She'll touch 70 miles an hour. And really use her fastball, locate it to both sides of the plate. But her rise ball is what she's known for as well, and throwing it best whenever it's between 62 and 64 miles an hour. And she's consistently up in the zone with that pitch, being able to locate on both sides of the plate.
She'll take on this Alabama offense. Their Capital One starting lineup starts off with a red-hot Haley McClenny in center field. Demi Turner's the designated player. Leona Lafaele is at first base. Marissa Runyon has a home run against Hoover in her career. She's at third. Reagan Dykes behind the plate. Chandler Dare is at second base. Andrea Hawkins will bat seventh and right. Sydney Booker's at short. Callie Case will round out this Alabama lineup, averaging 6 runs per game. She's in left. One of the great players in Alabama history, Haley McClenny, hoping that this isn't her last hurrah. 3-time first-team All-American, one of the rare players that has joined the 300-hit, 200-run, 100-stolen base club. Outstanding 5-tool player, riding a 33-game on-base streak. There have only been 21 players to join the 300, 200, 100 club. McClenny's one of them. And among active players, only Sierra Romero has been better in terms of productivity. And look at the 198 walks as well. Hard to find a coach and even players in this country that don't respect what Haley McClenny brings to the table on a consistent basis.
Well, I think it's been really cool, too, to see her grow as a person from her freshman year.
McClenny extends the on-base streak and sends one to the gap. Cut off by Griggs. McClenny has a double. And the tying run is in scoring position early for the Tide.
In an elimination game, your leadoff hitter has to be a spark plug, and that's exactly what Haley McClenny is right now in this game for Alabama. She missed this pitch right here. Not sure how that wasn't even a called strike, but it wasn't. Tried to go up and in for Hoover to back her off the plate a little bit to try to use the outside corner, and then keeps her hands on top of that ball. It's trying to make its way up and in and drives it to the left center field gap and finds herself at second base. She knew off of the bat she was thinking to put herself in a scoring position.
Here's Turner, and she takes a strike. Demi Turner battling back from a dislocated elbow this year. And that was actually against LSU in Game 2 of their series in Baton Rouge. Back on March the 12th when she was sliding into second base. She was out until April 29th. And has bounced back to become a solid DP as of late, making the start in that spot in now 5 consecutive games and riding a solid batting average in a 37-game stretch out of the 65 that Alabama has played this year.
You're seeing a few changes in Pat Murphy's lineup here. And you're used to seeing Turner bat behind McClenny. That's Alabama softball for you before the injury to Demi Turner. Also seeing Marissa Runyon back in the lineup as well, trying to mix things up, trying to find a way to score runs.
1-2. Foul. Back in March, Demi Turner on that slide into second. That left elbow goes right into Surratt. Dislocated elbow. Had leave in the air cast. Has not been able to extend her left arm fully. She'll have that taken care of in the offseason, but has been good since returning to the lineup in the postseason. Let's check in with Laura in a moment as well. We'll hear from Laura Rutledge in a moment.
Kind of a full circle moment for her. She got injured against LSU, and now she finds her way back into the 2 spot, which is where she fits best at.
2-2. Tapped at the plate, foul.
Against the same team that she got injured.
Chandler Dare took over for her at second base. And Dare was the number 2 hitter last night in the lineup. Dare has moved down to 6. Turner back in the 2 spot. She sends one to right field for Landry, who reaches up and makes the catch. McClenny may not have tagged. Got a late break from second base, but she'll tag in anyway. And she is at third. Only one out here in the bottom half of the first inning.
She's so quick, Haley McClenny, and she knows what she can and can't get away with. And when that ball was taking Bailey Landry closer to the right field wall, she kind of got off there a little bit too fast because I think she thought it was going to go over her head, but she said, oh, actually I need to go back and tag, and she still makes it in safely, no problem.
Solid base running for McClenny, who is the tying run for Leona Lafayette. There's a strike. In the 3 spot, Lafayette having a career season. She had 17 home runs her first 3 seasons combined. 15 alone this year, and look at where the batting average has gone from her first 3 years to now. Hit to short. McClenny has to stay at third. Good play by Surratt. And there are 2 down as we check in with Laura.
Adam, as Amanda was mentioning, Demi Turner back in that 2-hole. It's the highest that she's hit in this lineup since coming back, and she's been campaigning to get back in that 2-hole. And finally, Patrick Murphy said today, let's put you back in there. I know you're ready for it. He likes what she brings at that part of the order. Also putting Marissa Runyon in there, who we'll see bat in just a minute here. She's somebody that's been struggling, as you guys said, but of course does have that home run against Carly Hoover. And Murphy said, look, I just want to give her a shot. I've really liked her attitude as she's weathered this storm at the plate recently.
And she stands in lefty against Hoover.
You know, we've seen all of these head coaches get a hunch and pull the trigger and change up the lineup, and oftentimes it ends up being off.
Quickly down to the count, 0-2 though here. Called strike 3, and Hoover gets out of the jam, leaving McClenny at third.
Carly Hoover not messed around to Marissa Runyon at all. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, got her looking. Runyon didn't move her bat.
We're back at the Women's College World Series, and we've seen LSU get off to a hot start against Sydney Littlejohn with Sandra Simmons' leadoff home run to start this game. And Howard Dobson, the assistant coach for LSU, told me that they really wanted to clear their mind from what happened last night against Michigan's Megan Betze. He said that changeup gave us fits. We decided just to tip our cap to her and move on. They really wanted to see Littlejohn in the zone today. They said she can locate so well. They know what her curveball can do. They wanted to make sure they capitalized when they got an opportunity.
I think the biggest opportunities are going to come to those left-handed hitters, and Simmons doing that first game of the bat, Laura, or first at bat of the game, and hit that home run, got him on the board.
Sent 7 to the plate against Littlejohn in the first, and the 8-hitter Amber Surratt, freshman shortstop, will climb in. Takes a strike. What a job for Surratt this year. Basically stepped in and put the defense in motion for LSU. Beth Torina calls her a game changer at shortstop, to the point where she moved an All-American out to place Surratt at short. It's Bianca Bell. Ended up sliding over to third base, which slid Savannah Jaquish, which slid Sandra Simmons, which rotated some things in the outfield. Defensively, it's been an adventure this year, but Surratt's been rock solid most of the season. She sends one to right for Hawkins. Circuitous route, but she gets the ball for out number 1.
Center fielder number 8, Emily Briggs.
So it'll be another lefty The 9-hitter Emily Griggs. Littlejohn has yet to retire a lefty the first time through the order.
It's really similar to Jessica Burrows, who we just saw pitching for Florida State, who likes to throw that curveball as well. And I think that you just have a better chance of getting a hit off of her because of what she throws if you're standing in the left-handed batter's box.
Dykes will go out to chat with Sydney Littlejohn. LSU has had a roller coaster season this year. Started 24-3. The offense was hot. At one point in the game, they put up an LSU record 30 runs in a game against Louisiana Tech. 30 runs. Then started their SEC stretch with a really front-loaded SEC schedule. Ended up going 5-9 during that stretch, although they did beat Alabama 2-3. And since then, they've figured things out. They've won 21 of their last 26 games.
We asked Beth Turina about that and how strong that they started to finish the year. And she attributed that to one thing was that this is the deepest team that she's ever had. So trying to figure out how the entire roster can contribute their best. And then also, too, just letting the shortstop position play out. There's some defensive changes, and that was hard, but then it was bad for a while, but then they were able to get better. This is when they're playing their best with Surrett at short and Bell at third.
2-0 on Griggs. Yeah, there's a strike.
That's a good problem to have. It's the deepest team that you've ever had. And two, you're having people compete for positions every day at practice. That only makes your team better and stronger.
Bunt shown by Griggs, picked up in fair play by the catcher Dykes. Good play to get the speedy Griggs out. 2 down.
Good idea here by Griggs, but even better play by Reagan Dykes to pop out of her position and be all over this bunt. Quick reactions, good throw to the inside of the bag.
Quick reaction by the Alabama catcher. Freshman from Mississippi. Here is Simmons. That one came way inside and got a piece of her. Simmons is aboard.
Now a high fielder for 26, Bailey Landry.
A 2-out base runner for LSU here in the second. Bouncing ball to second base, picked up by Dare. Littlejohn works around the 2-out base runner. Through an inning and a half, LSU on top, 1-0. Soak it in. It's Oklahoma City. 35th Women's College World Series here in OKC.
That will be an awesome game.
We're going to find a spot. We're going to go watch a monumental matchup in this sport. Reagan Dykes, the freshman, starts off the bottom of the second, taking a strike. Dykes stepping in as the main catcher as a freshman this year. A position at Alabama that has good recent history. Took over for Chauncey Bell. Behind her, Molly Fickner, Kendall Dawson, really good catchers for Alabama the last several seasons. And Dykes has had a really, really good year as a freshman. 12 home runs this season. Good play by the 6'2" Carly Hoover to snare that one. One down here in the second.
This pitch is right down the middle, and she hits it right back at Carly Hoover. And if she wasn't 6'2", I believe that might have popped over her head. But we always talk about it. She throws hard, and she has such a long stride because she is 6'2" out there. Such a presence in the circle for LSU.
There's Dare. And there for a strike to the second baseman. We've talked about Carly Hoover's stride combined with her length, her height. The ball seemingly gets on top of you that much faster when she's throwing at her hardest, right there, 69 miles an hour. It is difficult to face Hoover, who's been a good strikeout pitcher her first 2 seasons in Baton Rouge. Popped up. And Dare is retired by Simmons. 2 down.
Well, there are times too, Adam, that her stride will be at the end of the circle and even out of the circle. We saw her pitch in Harrisonburg against James Madison, and she was striding outside of the circle even. Such a long stride that she has, and when she gets to the end of the circle, it does feel like the ball is right on top of you. It's only 43 feet away, but then you take away another 8 feet, thrown from about 35 feet away whenever you actually release it. That's a distance that we played in 10 and under.
Yeah, jeez. Hawkins seemed like she had something in her eye for a moment, but the 386 hitter climbs in. Having her best year since her freshman season. Little tapper, Hoover hustling, fires to first, close play in time. Hoover defending her position very well with a couple of outs to end the second inning, and the heart of her order coming up.
We were just talking about her stride and where she lands after she pitches the ball, so she's actually a little bit closer to this hit right here, but she has to bend all the way down, almost throw on the run. Great play by the pitcher to get herself out of the inning.
The SEC tournament champion, Auburn Tigers, had never been to the World Series until last year. They're here for the second straight season. They swept the Georgia Bulldogs earlier this year in Alabama. That matchup coming up next in a winner's bracket game. 2 coaches of a very short list that have taken 2 schools to the Women's College World Series. There is Lou Harris-Champer, who did it with Southern Miss at the turn of the century and has done it with Georgia 3 times in the last 7 years. Sitting next to Rachel Fico, the former LSU All-American, the pitching coach for the Bulldogs, watching her former team here. 3, 4, and 5. The top 3 home run hitters in LSU history, Bell, Jaquish, and Claus here in the 3rd. Tails outside, and it's 2-0. Hard hit, right center field, base hit. Bell takes a turn. She'll stay there with a leadoff single here in the 3rd. Amanda talked about it right at the top. Your best hitters have to come up clutch. These 3 have to be big, not only today, but if LSU is to win further in this tournament, they have to be good.
At any time, the ball can leave the yard whenever they're up to bat. And even that hit by Bell, a 2-0 count, she's expecting a curveball in the outer half and just drives it to the right side. Good piece of hitting by the senior All-American.
There's Jaquish. Moving her hand down the barrel of the bat, thinking about flashing a bunt, instead fouls one back. Great addition from the state of California, Savannah Jaquish, coming to LSU. Played with the Puerto Rico national team a couple of years ago. Great high school career. Redlands East Valley, won a couple of California State titles. Her sister Carissa, a good softball player at Notre Dame. Her sister Jenna played at Monmouth. Here she lays down a bunt. Little John waits. The second baseman Dare covers. Nobody's covering third. And Bell slides past the bag, but the tag is late. She is safe at third base.
Runyon has not been in the starting lineup even defensively, and it was her job to get back to cover third base when the pitcher fields the bunt, and she just wasn't fast enough. Bell did not slow down at all whenever she saw that third base was open, had to throw across the diamond. When Bell slides, looked like she almost came off with the bag, but just gets her fingertip in there. Good heads-up base running by Bianca Bell to move herself to third base, and good execution by Jaquish to lay down the bunt. Well played, LSU.
Sacrifice bunt that gives 2 bases to Bell. 1 down for Klaus. They had the leadoff home run from Simmons in the first, but loaded the bases and could not get any additional scoring in that first inning. See the movement, a lot of east-west movement from Little John on that curve. That time got the inside edge, 2-1.
Tell they're trying to work Kelsey Klaus in the inside corner. To get her hands extended if you miss a pitch, it's out.
And LSU 0 for 14 with runners on base in this World Series. Little cue shot, and that will do enough to score the run. It's not a hit, but it gives a 2-0 lead to the Tigers on a Klaus RBI. And again, because of that base running by Bell going first to third on a sacrifice, that little cue shot allows a run to score.
Yeah, manufacturing this run all on her own. You could tell that she was picking up third base when she was about halfway to second, and she noticed that it was vacant, so she continued to make her way over there. And then also unwilling to pitch Kelsey Klaus on the outer half because of that right there, just a ground ball to the right side. But she fell, as Little John fell behind 2-1, you have to go with a pitch that you can throw for a strike, and it's on the outside corner, but just good enough for Klaus to stick her bat out. Ground ball to second base, scores Bell easy. We just saw her take 2 bags. That was nothing for her.
Yep. Thornhill will walk her first time. And takes upstairs 2-0. Littlejohn, a small town in East Texas. Rusk, am I saying it right?
Yes.
I always look at the Texan to make sure I'm not insulting the fine folks of the great state. Has been in multiple roles already in her career. Has been in multiple roles this season. Alexis Osorio was not fully healthy. It was Sydney Littlejohn that this team turned to basically be the #1 pitcher for a good chunk of the season as Osorio got to health. Osorio's been doing the brunt of the damage in the circle for Alabama in the NCAA tournament, has been dynamic. Was great until giving up that home run last night. Osorio had not allowed an earned run in the entire tournament until Shea Knighton hit the walk-off home run against her in the 8th inning.
She really did step up her game, Littlejohn did, when Osorio wasn't her healthiest. They needed her. She took the ball and ran with it. Saw second-team All-American this year.
3-2. The short center. It'll stay on the dirt for Booker. LSU manufactures a run with the heart of their order up. Kloss gives LSU a 2-0 lead. Bama's coming back up in OKC. Senior out of Sacramento, California. And so many seniors see their careers come to an end in this Women's College World Series. She's hoping not to be one of them right now. Trying to fire up her team, which has only put up 1 hit through 2 innings against Carly Hoover. It just doesn't seem like right now the Tide are seeing Hoover that well.
Well, the Tide can get fired up if they start taking advantage of these Hoover mistakes. Look at where she's missing. This was to Haley McClenny right down the middle. Check it out on K-Zone. You can see it yourself. That was to Runyon, the strikeout. And then Dyke's ground ball right back to Hoover. And yes, she hit that, but could be a better hit because she's leaving a lot of these pitches down the middle of the plate. Alabama needs to step up and take advantage of it.
Just 24 pitches through 2 innings of work. McClenny had the leadoff double in the first, was at third base, was left stranded there. 6 in a row retired by Hoover. Now she faces Sydney Booker.
It's a much better spot to start her off. Just finding the inside corner right there and getting the call. Gotten away with some mistakes, but you're not going to be able to do that for very long against this lineup.
Ball and a strike on Booker. Transfer from a school in Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana, but an Alabama native. Booker coming into her own as the main shortstop this year for Alabama. Sends it to right. Landry back, reaching up, can't get it. Around first into second goes Booker. There's another leadoff double for Alabama, and a runner in scoring position to start the third.
I think that Sydney Booker may have heard us talk over the package because finally an Alabama hitter steps up and hits a mistake. Look at this pitch location right down the middle about belt high. Bailey Landry goes back on it. Not a great read by her in right field. Nevertheless, Sydney Booker at second base in scoring position, no outs.
Here is Callie Case in the 9th spot. Swinging away and fouls it off.
Tough pitch on your hands at 71 miles an hour. Callie Case swinging away, but Carly Hoover bringing it.
Stop behind the plate by Kloss. Count is even at a ball and a strike.
Notice that there's a huge hole in right center field. This is a center fielder, Emily Griggs, and look at all that area in right center. Because of the speed that Hoover throws, anticipating the ball to go the opposite side of the field off of Case's bat.
Case sends one to right. Landry to the wall, makes the catch off from second base Booker, and she's got to dive back in. Bailey Landry has had some tough balls go out to right field. She has seen a couple go over her head, but that time makes the catch.
Case barrels up this ball. Another miss from Carly Hoover and almost gets over the head of Bailey Landry. Sydney Booker trying to think 2 bases on that one, thinking that it might get over the head of Bailey Landry. Instead dives back. Good read out there by Bailey to be able to pick up that ball, or else that would have been a run for Alabama. A couple of well-hit balls and taking advantage of those mistakes by Hoover.
I think that's exactly why Beth Torina's coming out. After Hoover saw that fly ball off the bat of Case, she kind of slumped her shoulders. She didn't look very happy about it. And I think clearly she's starting to feel like there are some mistakes being thrown. And already, maybe a little bit of stirring is going to start in the LSU bullpen as Allie Walljasper, last night's starter in the 2-0 loss to Michigan, will head out to the corner.
And you saw Booker try to get off of second base. The more that ball took Bailey Landry towards the fence, but the more that Bailey Landry started to get a beat on that, the more that Booker should have been going back to try to tag at second base and try to take another 60 feet to advance to third. Saw the exact same thing with Haley McClenny. And the last 2 pitches to Booker and Case that they've put in play, Booker hit the double, and then Case hit the fly ball to right, but you can see the location of them right down the middle of the plate. Bama getting a good barrel to the ball.
Hoover, even though she's only allowed 2 hits 1 time through the lineup, has held Alabama scoreless, looks frustrated. Again, I imagine that's why Beth Tarina went out there. And again, there's a strike to McClenny, but I mean, that's kind of a meatball pitch thrown by Hoover, seemingly not finding her spots right now.
You just saw your teammates, Booker and Case, go up there and be aggressive early in the count, knowing that she's missed her location.
South Carolina native, transfer from Stanford. Her second year with LSU. Close pitch. Kloss left it there for Chris Drum to take a look at. And it's ball 2.
That has been the better side of the plate for Hoover today. She's been pretty precise with the low and out corner to McClenny, using her screwball.
Throwing arm side to the left-hander. Good stop by Kloss. And can Alabama get it done right now? 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position in their first 2 games of the Women's College World Series, even though they've gotten extra base hits out of it. Another pitch out of the zone. Hoover trying to find it right now. Seemingly can't. Another base runner for Alabama. McClenny's aboard with her 199th career walk. And now Demi Turner will come to the plate with 2 on and 1 out in the third. Big spot for Demi Turner. Big spot for Hoover. Turner swings away, grabbed by Simmons. Nobody was covering second. She was looking for the force. Quinn can't get to first in time, and they're loaded with only 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning.
And your pitcher rolls you a ground ball out in this inning that just seems to be going on for so long. You have to be able to find an out right here, and defense needs to step up. But you said it. Check out where Surrett is, the shortstop, unable to cover second base for the force out, and it just left Simmons kind of open. But good hustle too by Demi Turner, who's coming out of the left box to run down there and beat it out.
And here is Lafayette, who is screaming at her team in between innings, coming into this bottom of the third. The senior out of California with the bases loaded and 1 out in the third inning. Fouled away.
Still got to make sure, though, that you're hitting your pitch in there. You don't want to help Hoover out right now.
To left field. Thornhill coming on. It drops for a base hit. 1 run scores, station to station. Lafayette cuts the lead in half here in the third inning.
The first pitch to Lafayette was off of the plate, and she got jammed. It was a good thing that that ball went foul, because then she got this mistake right here down the middle of the plate that she was able to pull a little bit. A little bit off the end of her bat, but Sydney Booker at third base didn't even see this ball down. She just had a good read of Thornhill out there in left field and started to make her way home as soon as she saw that Thornhill was going to be unable to grab it.
Lafayette backing up her words with an RBI single. She'll come out. Mary Kranick will come in as a pinch runner.
It's the best to back up your words with the action when the moment really counts.
And here is the struggling Marissa Runyon, who has hit a home run off Hoover before. But a roller to second. Quinn applies the tag, a spinning throw to end the double play and end the inning. Only 1 across against Hoover in that third inning. And LSU maintains the lead. Beth Tarina on the other side of this break with Laura Rutledge. An elimination game here in Oklahoma City on this Saturday.
LSU head coach Beth Torina. And Coach, how big was that double play to get out of that last inning?
That was huge. Really heads-up play by Constance Quinn. She's come up so big for us lately. I mean, an awesome catch in the Super Regional that helped get us here, but she's been great for us down the stretch.
How about Bianca Bell going first to third on a sacrifice? And how have the middle of the lineup, Bell, Jaquish, and Kloss, done it differently today?
Well, they're really veteran players. They've been here before. They understand pressure situations. They do a great job of leading us. I mean, it all started with a selfless at bat there by Savannah Jaquish laying down the bunt. And, you know, they really work well together. Team first hitting. They don't care who gets the credit. They just want to win.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Adam?
Yeah, Laura, this is what you just asked Beth Torina about. Bell doing it in a different way, perhaps, than most people are used to seeing.
And there's laying down the bunt right here by Jaquish, where it even allowed Bell to go from first to third, heads up base running, and then just a weak ground ball to the right side. That's going to score a fast runner from third every time to score the second run for LSU.
They maintain a 2-1 lead. Speaking of Constance Quinn, she leads off this top half of the fourth inning for the Tigers. Struck out her first time swinging, but had that great spinning double play to end the threat for Alabama. And her play in the Super Regionals was a series saver. I mean, full extension dive towards the second base bag to take a hit away. It hasn't always been easy for Constance Quinn at second base. She has had defensive struggles in her career. Last year, at one point, she was pulled from second base. LSU went with somebody else for the latter half of the season defensively. Quinn's bat was still in the lineup, but they have stuck with Quinn. The defense has kind of settled in this year for Beth Torina. When the defense is good, this has been a good team. When the defense has been bad, that's when this team has struggled. 1-2. Reaching out to roll one to Booker. One down.
Gotten her out on that pitch a couple of times. One for a strikeout and then a weak ground ball. Just throw her low and away, and that Little John curveball seems to be working against Quinn.
There is Surratt. Alabama has won a national championship, part of this last 4-year stretch where the SEC has won a national championship. Patrick Murphy and the Tide became the first ever SEC team to win a national title. It was back in 2012. LSU has been to the Women's College World Series under a couple of coaches. Their 5th Women's College World Series trip all time. A couple times under Yvette Gerard, and for the 3rd time under Beth Torina. A little poke job towards second, and it's down behind the bag. Amber Surratt is aboard with a run-out single. LSU fell in the semis last year, trying to get to the championship. Same thing with Alabama, who was eliminated by LSU last year. If necessary games are necessary, for that matter. That's a sentence that you should write down and use. The Women's College World Series Finals will start Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. For more info, you can log on to NCAA.com, the official home for all 90 NCAA championships.
It always feels like these elimination games are just longer, because I mean, your whole entire season is coming down to this game, these last few innings. So every pitch is really important. Looks like, too, right now, Coach Murphy getting after it to Chandler Dare.
Yeah. If it had something to do with a little floater that Surratt put down. And that base hit felt like it was in the air for a little while. I wonder if maybe that is what Patrick Murphy was pointing out. A little more hustle to try to get to that. It seemed like it would have been a tough play.
Yeah, Surratt got jammed, and see, Chandler Dare had thought about laying. It looked like she was almost like hunched over, thinking about laying out for it, and then pulls up on it.
Here's Griggs, lefty in the 9th spot. I would be curious if that's what Patrick Murphy was talking to Chandler Dare about. Griggs goes around, according to Leah Bowen. One. Try the corner. Close pitch. Kazon thought it was a strike. And it's 2-1 on Griggs. Towards the gap, right center field and deep. All the way to the wall. Surratt is going to get the stop sign at third. It's a double for Griggs.
This play all started with the defensive positioning of Haley McClenny out there in center field. They were shaded in. Here she is. She's almost on the infield, which leaves a wide open right center field right here for Emily Griggs to find a hole. And they pitched up and in, and they did not pitch to their defense. You can see the pitch location there. She hit the ball where it was pitched. Nice piece of hitting by Griggs, but the defense did not seem to be on the same page of that. It looks like we're going to see a different pitcher in the circle for Bama.
So Alabama will go to their pen. They'll go with the lefty Maddie Moore in a big spot in this elimination game. Down the right field line towards the corner. Hawkins at the wall. It's gone! Sandra Simmons put the Tigers on top back in the 1st inning. And after a pitching change, she'll be the first to face the left-hander out of the pen. It is the freshman Maddie Moore. What a big spot to come in right now. Unbeaten, sub-2 ERA, but the biggest stage she's ever pitched on right here. With 2 on and 1 out. And a 2-1 LSU lead here in the 4th.
But Adam, I think it's a moment like this for why Maddie Moore chose to go to Alabama. 2 runners in scoring position. You have the home run hitter up. You're a freshman, you've never been out there before, but you have to keep your team in the game. Your coach calls on you to get the job done. You got to step up.
Has even had a ball and a strike on Simmons. The home run and has been hit by a pitch. Late appeal, no swing. Moore only appeared 3 times during SEC play this year and had an ERA up around 4. Very, very small sample size. Just 5 1/3 innings of work in SEC play this year. Her 2nd career NCAA tournament appearance. Just inside, and Simmons with a good eyes ahead of the count.
I think the idea too of bringing in the lefty for the lefty on lefty matchup. The lefty on deck as well, and Bailey Landry.
Lefties had early success in this game against Littlejohn. To left field and down for a base hit. Surratt is in. Griggs will get the stop sign at 3rd. On her way to 2nd, and in is Simmons. What a postseason for Sandra Simmons, and the Tigers have a 2-run lead.
when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And even if you get a little bit jammed, you still believe in yourself. I guarantee a swing like this is going to happen. And this by more, but she's throwing so hard it actually jams Simmons a little bit, but she still just finds a hole down the left field line out there in front of Case. She's going crazy.
And now 2 on for Bailey Landry in scoring position. And that's off the glove of Dykes. Off from third, Griggs. She'll score, and it's 4-1 LSU. On to third goes Simmons. Wild pitch brings home the 4th Tiger run.
You have a pass ball or wild pitch in a situation like this with a runner at third base and your defense is already just wanting to get off the field. You can't let the wheels start to fall off like this for Alabama out there. You've got to be able to shut it down.
Late bunt shown by Landry and pops it back foul. Landry ahead in the count, 3-1 against Moore. It's been a career low season for Bailey Landry, and when your career low is 319, you're probably still a pretty good hitter. She set such a high bar in the first 2 seasons in Baton Rouge, but has still been very productive, especially in the postseason. Shows bunt, pulls back, and gets on base. Moore has given up the double to Simmons and has walked Landry. Your Women's College World Series debut.
Bell gets a pitch to hit right here. You better watch out with the kind of day that she's having. Had an error that she got on in the first inning, but it just seems like she's locked in, not wanting this to be her last game.
Jam shot towards second. This time Dare dives and makes the catch. And maybe the talk from Patrick Murphy got Dare going. She gets a big second out here in the 4th inning.
I'm with you. You better believe that you get a talking to from your head coach mid-inning, then you're going to go after the next chance that is possible for you to lay out for a ball and make the play. All over it, Chandler Dare saves a hit. Both middle infielders, in fact, Booker and Dare going for this ball. Lucky that there's no collision and that Dare came away with the out.
Remember the Surratt single that floated behind the second base bag? Dare looked like she was going to dive, but ended up not diving for it. And it looked like when Patrick Murphy came out for a meeting in the circle, he was getting after Dare for the lack of effort, maybe the lack of diving, lack of going all out for a play. That time she does and gets it out. Still not easy though. Jaquish with a runner at first and third. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Two balls and a strike on Jaquish. Simmons with an RBI double in this inning, now at third after the wild pitch, which brought him another run while Landry was at the plate. And the plate appearance led to a walk. A couple of hits prior against Littlejohn. Those two have scored. And it's 3 balls and a strike on Savannah Jaquish. Now the All-American. Littlejohn just hoping there's no more damage in this inning. Popped up. And out of play.
Tell that Maddie Moore has a little bit of upspin to her pitches. A lot that's up in the zone, trying to work up and in to Jaquish. That was hard, touching 69, 70 miles an hour.
Infield high. This softball from the Alabama sports writers. Solid recruit coming into this program behind 2 All-American pitchers. Three balls and 2 strikes on Savannah Jaquish. In the air, left field and deep. Over the head of Case. Simmons is in. Landry will score from first. 2-run double Jaquish. And the Tigers adding on to the 4th.
Yeah, when Maddie Moore has been going hard up and into the hands of Jaquish, a pitch that is now going to be trying to make its way to the outside corner, but left hanging is going to be easy for Jaquish to get her hands to. 70 miles an hour up and in is not the same at about 69 middle out. A couple of RBIs for Jaquish.
'73 driven in by Jaquish this year. And it's 6-1 LSU. Patrick Murphy might just be trying to figure out an option right now. Here is Kloss, who's got an RBI already in 2 trips.
With how hard that Moore is throwing, there was no need to go back outside unless it was just going to be a miss to set up another pitch.
First pitch does not go the way of Moore, and it's 2-0 on Kloss. Again, relaying of the signals by Jaquish to her teammate Kloss from second base. Gamesmanship from LSU, and they're skilled at it.
Wondering if Alabama even notices. Used to be that you'd wave your arm way in or way out, but you're going to do it more discreetly.
There's a strike. Probably tough to deal with when you're a pitcher in the circle, especially one as young as Moore. You're not really wanting to think about other things, just trying to focus in on the hitter. Kloss sends one to right for Hawkins. A 4-run, 3-hit LSU 4th. A 6-1 Tiger lead to the bottom of the 4th. We'll chat with Patrick Murphy. We'll be with Laura Rutledge next.
And Coach, why did you decide to bring in Maddie Moore?
Just do something different. Sydney was, I think her pitch count was 50-50 balls to strikes, and that's not good enough. And obviously Maddie kind of did the same thing.
Chandler Dare with a diving play to save a run. What was said to her when you went out and talked to them in the middle of the inning there?
Well, she had a chance to make the same play about 3 or 4 batters before, and she didn't leave her feet. And I was concerned about her effort.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Laura, this is what you were talking to Patrick Murphy about. The Amber Surratt floater kind of looked like Dare had a shot. Maybe she didn't, but seemingly Patrick Murphy not happy with that effort or lack thereof on that particular play. So he sees it manifest itself into a diving play later on in that inning. LSU still putting up 4 runs in that frame in a 4-hit inning.
Like we were talking about, Adam, even if she doesn't catch that ball and she lays out, it just shows the effort. Your team feeds off of that. Your pitcher feeds off of that as well. And not laying all out for that ball really did not make Coach Murphy happy.
Dare will bat second in this inning as Dykes will lead it off. First pitch swinging, sends it to right for Landry. 1 out.
It's another ball left over the plate, and Alabama's going to start running out of outs, but when the pitch is this much over the middle of the plate, you have to hit it. You just need to start getting on time your second time through the order.
That will bring up Dare. You saw that graphic. Alabama, the last time that they went 0-2 at the Women's College World Series was 10 years ago. Dramatic loss in their opener of that one too, when Northwestern knocked them off in 10 innings by a run. And then UCLA beat them in an elimination game. UCLA earlier today was dropped by Florida State. It was the first time in any of the 26 Women's College World Series appearances for UCLA that they went 0-2 and out. Three 3-0 on Dare. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Chandler Dare. She is aboard to get somebody out for the tie in the 4th with 1 out. Don't forget, Game 2 of the NBA Finals Sunday on ABC starts with NBA Countdown at 7:30 Eastern Time, followed by Cleveland Golden State from the Bay Area in Game 2. Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern for that. On ABC, watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Impressive performance by the role players for Golden State. A dominant Game 1 win. 1 out for Hawkins. And therefore a strike. Bouncing ball right side. Quinn is there, has to quickly get rid of the shovel toss, and Hawkins is retired. 2 down. Dare on to second base.
Constance Quinn was actually breaking towards second base on that. Changed directions. A shovel pass there to her first baseman.
The man is really happy that you just made that reference, by the way. Big smile on your face.
I heard it from our producer, Joe Taylor.
Yeah. He's, you're from Texas. You know the football. You know the footballs. Booker takes ball 1. The young kids like the Twitters, the Facebooks. Excellent freshman year at Southeastern Louisiana for Sydney Booker. Transferred back to her home state. Her dad, David, played for the Alabama title team in 1979 under Bear Bryant. Mom, Delord, still competes in roller derby to this day in the state of Alabama, and might have the coolest nickname of anybody in Oklahoma City right now, the Bama Bruiser.
I'll have to come up with my nickname that beats that one maybe later tonight.
There she is. I mean, that is just awesome. Still competes to this day. Cindy out in front of that one, and it's 2-2.
I haven't seen too many of those that changes speeds right there from Hoover. 60 miles an hour, taking about 10 off. Honestly, she hasn't really had to pull it out. Been doing just fine without it.
And has continued her overall success against Alabama. She's held them to 1 run through 4 innings of work. Her offense has gotten it done behind her. To the 5th, the winners moving on. The losers headed home in the Women's College World Series. 6-1 LSU. Watch ESPN app, I'm sure, is what that youngster is taking a look at on the iPad. It's our advertising department sitting out there in Oklahoma City. 6-1 LSU to the 5th. New catcher is into the game for Alabama. Kerrigan Fain, who's been the backup to Reagan Dykes this season, is in. And that's what slight delay was for in between innings, as Fain took over behind the plate. Working with Maddie Moore, who's into her 2nd inning of relief. Dealing with Elise Thornhill, who has walked and popped out. LSU a year ago reached the semifinals. And they ended up losing to the national runner-up Michigan Wolverines. One of their best runs. Beat Alabama en route to get there last year. Over the head of a leaping Booker into left field, and a leadoff single for Thornhill.
LSU has really taken advantage of the mistakes that Alabama pitching has given to them. You see the spot of that ball almost in the middle of the box of K-zone. Thornhill shortening up, driving the opposite way. Leadoff hitter on for LSU.
That'll bring up Constance Quinn. Bunt shown and pushed foul with the runner going. 0-1. Maddie Moore came in to a tough spot in the 4th inning with a couple of runners on base. Gave up the Simmons double, walked the batter, got some help from Dare, but the Jaquish 2-run double. Capping off a 4-run LSU 4th inning to take a 5-run lead.
Has made you wonder where is Osorio?
And you just got to think whether it's fatigue or the lack of success against LSU this season. Ball and a strike on Quinn. Let's check in with Laura.
Adam, you guys were asking about Alexis Osorio, and I talked to Patrick Murphy. He confirmed with me that Alexis Osorio is not available for this game.
And you just wonder if it's because of the 131 pitches. Is it because of the lack of success against LSU? Although, as Laura said, if she's unavailable, it's probably due to the 131 pitches. Caught it short by Booker to throw to first not in time. And there's one down.
Maybe even because of her fingertip, her pointer finger. Spun the ball 131 times last night in their game.
She has had issues with that at times in her career. When you have such a tight rise ball and so much spin on it, you need your fingertips. I don't want to say in perfect shape, because I think we were listening to Holly Rowe last night talking about calluses on your fingertips, and that's something that some pitchers do like. But it still has to be intact without discomfort. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult to spin the ball the way you want to spin it. 6-1 LSU leading right now. Big day on ESPN as well. We've got boxing on ESPN tonight, Premier Boxing Champions. And when that's done, Coach and Connors of SportsCenter at night. We'll have highlights of Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final, with Pittsburgh leading the series 2-0 against San Jose. Round 3 from the Memorial, with Matt Kuchar and Brendan Steele trying to maintain their lead. Chris Sale and Steven Strasburg look for their 10th win of the season this 2016 campaign. And Serena in the women's final trying to tie Steffi Graf for the most titles in the Open era. SportsCenter at night on ESPN tonight. Shamaya Sanchez is the pinch hitter for LSU. And a pinch runner at first base is Taylor Lockwood as well. Pinch hitting for Surrett. And their first strike. Your first game here, 2007. What were your nerves like?
All over the place. I remember not even feeling like I could make my arm circle because I felt so tight. And then after the first, or actually after the second inning, I feel like you settle in.
Jam shot roller to second. Dare flips to second. Look at the lead runner and the pinch runner, Lockwood. And they're 2 down. Sanchez reaches on the fielder's choice.
But I remember too, just being able to hear the crowd talk a little bit more. It's almost like it echoes down there, and you're able to hear conversations and the kind of quietness that comes with the neutral fans, but then you're also able to hear your own fans that are yelling at you. It's just a weird mix of a different venue that you've never experienced before in your entire career until you've been here.
There's Griggs. And their 4th strike. And certainly, Maddie Moore is not the only person to make her debut at the Women's College World Series this weekend. Plenty of players who are having their first experiences, but tough to do it in an elimination game against one of the, I would say, when it's at its best, one of the most prolific offenses in the country. I mean, they've had an up and down year offensively, as we showed you earlier, LSU, and a lot of that has depended on the competition. But when they're at their best, it's a scary look at offense, which has put up 6 runs today.
The biggest moment that got their offense and their team, their defense, their pitcher at ease was the Simmons home run to lead off the game. They didn't score last night in their game. They're probably thinking, are we ever going to be able to score again in our entire lives? And we need to here in Oklahoma City to stay alive, and wasted no time in doing so. Makes everybody just take a deep breath and be able to relax.
Moore's 1-2, bouncer to third. Runyon makes the play, and the inning is over. A 5-run cushion to the bottom of the 5th for Carly Hoover. Has had great success against the Alabama Crimson Tide. They eliminated the Tide last year. They're trying to do it again to stay alive in OKC. 1. Alabama meeting in the dugout. Allie Habits, one of their assistant coaches, trying to rally this team together. It just hasn't felt like they've been very sharp, and LSU has been the sharper team in this game.
Well, Runyon not getting back to third base in time, not very often, especially in Oklahoma City. You're going to see a runner go from first to third on a bunt, and then here, don't run into a double play. Stop in front of Quinn. You became an easy out, the base runner did there, and then a pass ball here by Dykes. So just Alabama seeming a little bit off, and props all to LSU for capitalizing on their mistakes and putting up 6 runs. But it's just those types of mistakes to point out that you cannot have here in Oklahoma City, or you will go home.
That's the case in this elimination game. Winner will move on to play the loser of the Georgia-Auburn game, which you're going to see following this one over on ESPN2. And then we'll have another winner's bracket game with Michigan and Oklahoma. Callie Case, big cut against Hoover to start off this bottom of the 5th.
I think it goes to show how tough Hoover is to hit against whenever she is leaving all these balls left over the middle of the plate, and she's still being able to get outs. She throws hard, the ball gets on top of you quickly. She does have some movement with the speed that she throws and her velo. But still, even with watching her so much this year, I don't think has made this many or left this many balls over the middle of the plate. But she's able to get away with it. Tells you how tough she is.
I think it's easier to get away with a mistake when you're throwing 68, 69 than it would be, say, if it's 63, 64, maybe even 65.
You're absolutely right.
Played by Simmons, diving back to the bag, got the out. What effort by Sandra Simmons, who's having one heck of a postseason to close out her LSU career.
She probably never wants the season to end with the way that she's playing down the stretch defensively and offensively. Sometimes they'll have her out there in left field, but she is their best first baseman. Has good range, just goes all out all the time.
Here's McClenny. Think about some of the veterans on this field. Between Bianca Bell, one of the best hitters in college softball. Simmons at first base having a fantastic season. Haley McClenny at the plate. McClenny flares one into left center, past a diving Griggs. And McClenny is gonna take a stumble around second, head back to the bag, the throw behind, and the tag is in time. Two down here in the fifth inning.
Finally looked like something was going to go Alabama's way, and McClenny finds a hole out there in left center field. But I have to tell you, the way that the LSU defense played in the relay was just on point. Griggs goes for this ball. She has a backup in Thornhill. McClenny falls. They stick with it defensively to get her out at second. Huge out for LSU defense. That is a nice defensive play coming in from the outfield.
So two down with the bases empty for Turner. Man, that has to be hard to swallow for Patrick Murphy and Haley McClenny right now. And played very well. Good backup. You mentioned it by Thornhill. Griggs took kind of a weird angle, kind of a straight angle instead of going around to the gap to cut it off. Took a risk at diving at it. And Thornhill backed her up well. Good job by Surratt with the relay throw and the tag by Quinn to get McClenny. One and one on Turner. Hoover continues to field her position well. We're through 5 here in this elimination game. A 5-run LSU lead. The top of the order is coming up. Didn't take long for LSU to take a lead. Sandra Simmons with her 4th postseason home run gave the Tigers a 1-0 lead. And for more on Sandra, down to Laura Rutledge.
Adam, a home run by Sandra Simmons means a home run ball for Chuck and Linda Fortenberry, her grandparents. Look, Chuck's got the ball right there. So excited somebody brought it to him, and Chuck and Linda were absolutely thrilled about it. Now, they take an RV all over the country following LSU softball. Everywhere they go, they actually just came 1,283 miles from Harrisonburg, Virginia, the super regional, of course, for LSU against James Madison. They said it was a long trip, but totally worth it. They love supporting this team and feel like the entire team are their grandchildren.
And Sandra Simmons will lead things off, taking a strike here in the top half of the 6th inning. She had the first home run to lead off a game for the Tigers in 7 years. She did it on the 6th pitch that Sydney Littlejohn dealt. Chuck and Linda do all that traveling. Chuck is a retired owner-operator truck driver. Says he and Linda have the resources to enjoy the travel. The RV is pretty sick from what I understand. It's got a fridge, got plenty of room for the clothes. They pack a lot of clothes, sometimes too many. They were told, they told us, or told our crew. They like to stay a few miles away from Tiger Park during the home games when they make the trip, going from west to the south. Three balls and a strike on their granddaughter. And Laura said it too. I feel like the entire LSU team is their kids, particularly Kelsey Kloss. Kelsey Kloss and Sandra Simmons go back a long way as well to their travel ball days. They've been teammates for the last 8 years. Simmons to center. McClenny, good beat on it, makes the catch. 1 down. Again, Kloss and Simmons, 2 players hoping that their career extends to Sunday. Right now, their team on top by 5. Landry takes a strike. Nothing in 2 on Bailey. Guaranteed a matchup tomorrow in an elimination game of SEC teams. The winner of this game will take on the loser of that Georgia-Auburn game. That's coming up over on ESPN2. Beth, Jess, Michelle, and Holly will have the call for you. And Auburn, the SEC tournament champion, knocked off LSU in the final.
You know, that'll be a really good one because I feel like Georgia is going to want a little bit of revenge from Auburn. Played them in Auburn. Auburn swept them.
In 2 games that were pretty tight, and Georgia had late leads in those games. One of those games was a blowout, but there were 2 tight games in that series. Georgia felt like they could have won a couple more games.
Like they were going to take game 1 in that series, and then Casey Cooper had a walk-off home run to win it for them, and then they would just go on to sweep the series after that. But prior to that home run, it really looked like Georgia was going to come away with at least 1. Wilkinson threw well against them.
And then a matchup to follow of 2 teams that have already faced each other this year as well. Michigan and Oklahoma will square off for a 2nd time. 16-9, Michigan beat Oklahoma out in Palm Springs all the way back in February.
It's a real pitcher's duel in that one.
Oh yeah, real.
You know what? They're going to play without the sun out, so you know it's going to be a pitcher's duel.
I think that's how we've decided that the split is going. When the sun's out, the balls go out. When the sun's down, the runs go down too. The weather has been nice and warm today, so we've seen a lot of shots fly out of here. In the first couple of games on this elimination Saturday. Again, the games tonight are winners bracket games, shifted from Friday night to Saturday night because of the weather. And you wonder if that plays a factor in how coaches have to now figure out how their rotations are going to work for those teams here that do go by staff. Landry, good at bat, and she closes it out with a base hit. On base for the 3rd time today, a 1-out single in the 6th.
Pitch at bat for her.
Yep. 10th NCAA tournament hit. Here is Bianca Bell. Jam towards 2nd, similar to what we saw last time when Dare took a base hit away from Bell. Pops out. They're 2 down. Florida State knocking off UCLA. They'll take on the loser of the Michigan-Oklahoma game at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. Georgia and Auburn over on ESPN2. Slotted for 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Winner of that one, Oklahoma-Michigan, will go into the semifinals automatically. And again, the winner of this game, Alabama-LSU, will take on the loser of the Georgia-Auburn game today. It does play some havoc. You know, you're a coach, you're maybe a favorite, maybe you're at the top side of the bracket. You're thinking, hey, if we win Thursday,
Yes.
we'll pitch again Friday, get a day off Saturday, and then come back on Sunday. Maybe you throw your ace again. When that luxury is taken away, things get a little more difficult. Runner goes from first. Landry will get a great jump, steal second. Jaquish ahead on the count, 1-0 with a runner in scoring position against Fame.
Whoever wins a couple of games tonight, they're sitting pretty. You want to stay in the winner's bracket. She's so fast. I love to watch her run. She reminds me of a deer.
Gazelle-like.
Good form, long strides.
Very Gazelle-like going into second. Littlejohn is going to come back into the game. That's going to be enough for Patrick Murphy to bring Littlejohn back in. Tough for Maddie Moore, stepping into a very difficult spot, but the LSU offense has been rock solid so far today. Littlejohn back in, 2 outs in the 6th. Maddie Moore is done here in the 6th inning, and Sydney Littlejohn has re-entered the game with a runner at second, 2 out, and a 1-0 count on Savannah Jaquish. On Jaquish. Three and a third, first time in this game. Gave up the home run to Simmons, gave up a run in the third, was tagged with the 2 runs that Moore inherited. They both came in to score. Alabama, LSU, always fascinating to see these two teams play in any sport. Obviously, football is the first that comes to mind, but we've seen this rivalry turn into, I think, just that. It's been typically competitive for the most part between these two teams since Tarina and Murphy have been squaring off at these particular programs.
That's why it was so important for Alabama to try to stay in the winner's bracket specifically. Of course, every team wants to, but for them, I feel like they need Alexis Osorio to lead them to a national championship if they're going to win it. And if not, if you hop into the loser's bracket, then Sydney Littlejohn has to be able to step up, throw a complete game, maybe even hold these hitters down. And you bring in Maddie Moore, both pitchers unable to do that unless you score 6.
Here's Kloss, there for a strike.
Her last 9 starts versus the SEC, just not throwing the way that Sydney Littlejohn, I think, threw earlier on in this year. Close to a 5 ERA against them.
On the ground to second. And the inning is over. Littlejohn closes out the frame. Alabama running out of outs. They're down by 5 as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The winner of this game stays alive to play another day in Oklahoma City in the 2016 Women's College World Series. Oklahoma, Michigan. Mammoth matchup. The winner of that game will move into the semifinals. The loser of this game flops brackets, goes to the opposite side for another elimination game. Although I should say the winner of this game will take on the loser of the Georgia-Auburn game. They'll flop brackets and switch to the other side for tomorrow.
I think they do that just to keep us on our toes.
I think so, more than anything else. It's not like the baseball World Series where you basically have 2 pods, and the winners of each pod comes around and plays in the finals. Always entertaining to see how things play out. Prep and scout. Always fascinating for coaches once you get to this stage. Lafayette, first pitch swinging, fouled it back. Seen the passion and the emotion from Lafayette today. At one point gathered her team on the field, tried to rally him up. imagine these at-bats might be some of the toughest of a player's career. Lafayette of Samoan heritage. Alabama went to Stanford last year. Leona's from Sacramento. Her family met the team through a luau for him, a traditional Samoan luau. There's a tight-knit sense to this particular group of Alabama softball players. And it starts with the veterans of that group, Lafayette included. In the air, left center field. Well struck, deep, and gone. Lafayette with another RBI, trying to keep Alabama going. It's 6-2. If anybody's backing up their words in this game, it's Leona Lafayette.
Love the way that she battled in her at bat against Hoover, knowing that it might be her last. Gets an inside pitch, which is where Hoover threw her for pretty much the entire AB. Right at the knees, gets her barrel down to the ball and kept her head on it, drove it over the wall for another RBI for her.
16 of her 33 career home runs, part of what has been an impressive senior campaign for Leona Lafayette. Caroline Hardy will climb in as a pinch hitter, as she did yesterday. Down to Laura.
Adam, you mentioned Leona Lafayette backing up her words. Callie Case has brought the team together at points during this game. Haley McClinney has brought the team together. And just before this inning, they were saying, let's do this for our seniors. Don't let it end now. Let's try to extend this as long as we possibly can and get back in this. You can just feel the intensity in the dugout.
Hardy will reach base, hit by a pitch. Laura, thank you. You see the pretty well balanced roster in terms of youth and veterans. 4 seniors on this roster, including one of the best in Alabama history.
All 4 played starting lineup.
Runyon will come back in after Hardy pinch hit for her. She's aboard. And Reagan Dykes will re-enter the game as well. Fain came in for her as a catcher. The Dykes 0 for 2, back to the plate. First pitch swinging foul. Six outs with which to work for Alabama, potentially for their season. 6 outs for LSU to try to get to keep moving on. On the ground to first, tough hop. Simmons has it rolled towards short center field, not far enough for Runyon to try to advance, but it's 2 on and nobody out after a Simmons error.
Yeah, you know, it was a tough hop if Sandra Simmons is unable to field this ball because she is so solid defensively at first base. A drop ball in the outside corner and Dykes hits it right to the ground. That last minute hop just kind of rolls into center field. 2 runners on now for Alabama and no outs.
And Beth Charina out to the circle. Tying run is going to be on deck now for Alabama. Nobody out, 6th inning. Beth Torina trying to settle things down for LSU. 5th season as the head coach for the Tigers.
Forget about LSU, and they have that entire pitching staff, 4 pitchers that they can lean on. Well, Jasper warming up right now, but also Bailey Corbello and Sydney Smith.
Well, Jasper got the start for LSU. Pitched well against Michigan last night in a 2-0 loss. Hoover came in relief, gave up the hit to Blanco that allowed the 2 to score. Here's Dare. First pitch swinging into the gap, right center field. Around third Runyon, she'll come in to score. And the tying run will come to the plate for the Tide here in the 6th inning.
You can tell how aggressive that Alabama is being early in the count right now against Hoover. Just trying to get their hacks. Dare swings at the first pitch that she sees. It's up in the zone, trying to make its way up and down her hands. Gets her barrel to it, drives it to the right side, and scores a run for her team. And you have to think that that feels good for Chandler Dare to plate a run. After her coach yells at her out there on the field, she steps up for her team. Makes the score 6-3.
Hawkins will represent the tying run coming to the plate. She'll be the first to face Allie Waljasper. So Hoover is out after 5+, responsible for both runners on base. Remember, last year in the Women's College World Series, it was Allie Waljasper who got the start and got the win for LSU against Alabama in that elimination game.
And Waljasper gives a completely different look from Carly Hoover because she changes speed so much and keeps the ball down in the zone. You can see that she'll get these Michigan hitters from last night to hit the ball off the end of the bat. Could not barrel her up for the longest time because of her mix of speeds and the down movement that she has. That mix of speeds causes these hitters to be out on their front foot and hit the ball off the end of their bat, and that's what makes her so much different from Hoover, that she is not going to throw 69, 70 miles an hour. She's going to mix speeds and drop it down to about 52 when she needs to.
This was her line a year ago when she got the win. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of another senior who this Alabama team has rallied around, Andrea Hawkins, who only has 1 home run in her career, and that came back in 2014. Playing in her 207th career game today. 0 for 2 today, a couple of ground outs. And Aaron takes a strike. Hawkins' dad, Andy, played in the National Football League. Excellent athlete. Passed away in October of 2015. His team decided to rally around Hawkins. Taps one at the plate. It's a fair ball. Hesitation by Kloss from behind home plate. And safe at first is Hawkins. Tying run on base.
Hawkins is using her speed a lot more this year and slapping, running through the box. Slaps this one right down to the ground. When Kloss fields it, nobody is there at third base trying to get there, so she kind of hesitates for a little bit, trying to let Surrett get there, but Hawkins' speed is going to be too much for her at first base. But right there, Bianca Bell is playing up the line. Surrett a little bit late to get there.
Booker swings off the glove of Bell, picked up by Surrett, and the throw home is in time to get the run out. Dykes is retired on the force out. It goes 5-6-2 on the fielder's choice. The bases remain loaded, and there's a crucial first out by this LSU defense.
This game's getting a little bit dicey right now because of how aggressive Alabama is up at the plate. Nice stretch right there by Bell to knock that ball down right to her shortstop, Surrett, who knows exactly what she wants to do with the ball, get the force out at home. The play by the left side helping each other out.
Here's Callie Case, bases loaded. And therefore a strike. Wall Jasper using the outside corner against the Sprite lefty. He's hit 2 home runs this season. Both have come since May the 8th. In the air, down the line, and foul. 0-2.
This would have been a different game if Alabama would have had this intensity for the entirety of the game. Wait until the 6th inning to bring it out, but you can just feel it with their at-bats. You can feel it in the dugout. LSU came with it. Alabama didn't match it until now.
Nothing in 2 on Case. Just missed.
It's a good location by Wall Jasper. I think it just missed a little bit low. 53 miles an hour. That's that change of speeds we were talking about.
On the ground to second. Knocked away by Quinn. No play, run scores at 6-4, and they're still loaded here in the 6th inning. A couple of errors by LSU here in the 6th. That one on Quinn. It is an RBI for Case.
When you put the ball on the ground and you hit it hard, good things are going to happen. A couple of tough hops on the right side of the LSU defense. That's eating up Simmons and now Quinn. It's going to score a run, though.
And in all of the at-bats in Haley McClenny's career, maybe the biggest one right here for the senior. All-time leader in batting average, all-time leader in on-base, 3rd in slugging, leader in walks, leader in triples. The tying run in scoring position. Tapper, Wall Jasper, lobs home, gets the out, 2 down. Big play by Allie Wall Jasper.
You don't see that very often from Haley McClenny, kind of an indecisiveness, but it's because of the change of speeds and off-speed curveball right here, and all McClenny can do is just stick her barrel out, but usually you're not going to see her do that unless she has 2 strikes or hardly other than that.
So here is Turner. First pitch swinging, much more aggressive the entire inning. Alabama against Hoover and now Wall Jasper. Turner's already had big moments since returning from the injury in this postseason. Game-winning RBI in the 8th inning of the Super Regional. Did that in Game 1. Alabama won Game 2 to get to the World Series. Shutout last night by Oklahoma. A little flat against LSU until this 3-run 6th inning. 1-1. Fouled away, and it's 1-2. High leverage pitch right here. On the ground, Bell to first. Inning over. Nine come to the plate for Alabama in the 6th. We're through 6. And a 3-run frame for the Tide has made this a 2-run game. To the 7th in this elimination contest. Pink's Just Like Fire from the Walt Disney Studios film Alice Through the Looking Glass, in theaters now. Now we go to the 7th, a 2-run game. And Elise Thornhill leads it off for LSU against Sydney Littlejohn. Tied score thrice in the 6th to get back within 2. LSU 3 defensive outs away from moving on to another elimination game. In the 7th for Alabama, it'll be the heart of their order. Lafayette, Runyon, Spot, and then Dykes. Curveball right back to the zone for a strike for Littlejohn. 2-2.
6th inning made things pretty interesting here. Think about if Alabama doesn't score those 3 runs, I think this 7th feels totally different with a 5-run lead for LSU.
Another curve. There. Throws out Thornhill, 1 down. Littlejohn against Quinn, who's 0 for 3 today. LSU scored in the 1st and in the 3rd. Alabama got on the board in the 3rd inning. A 4-run LSU 4th, a 3-run Alabama 6th. On the ground, 2 Runyon. 2 away here in the 7th.
Quick 2 outs for Littlejohn.
Yeah. I think she wants to get back in the dugout too and watch her offense try to go to work
as quickly as possible.
Here's Surratt. Last year it was kind of a similar game in the World Series. LSU early lead. Alabama a little flat until the late innings. Ended up losing 5-3 a year ago. Again, that was a little bit of a different situation. That was the 2nd game that both teams had played that day. That was the 2nd round of elimination games last year on a Saturday night. Chance for a perfect Littlejohn 7th. 0-2. Surratt doing a nice job of poking a couple away. Spoiling some decent Littlejohn offerings. Last chance for Alabama, and it'll be Lafayette to lead things off for the Crimson Tide. Already a couple of RBIs today for the senior from Sacramento. She has tried to rally her team, has been yelling at him, screaming at him, doing it at the plate. She'll lead it off next in the 7th. Take a look at our Capital One Cup impact performance, and Leona Lafayette making an impact vocally and physically at the plate. An RBI back in the 3rd, which cut the lead to 2-1 at the time, and her home run in the 6th inning started the Alabama rally to get back within 2. She will lead things off here in the 7th. 3, 4, and 5 due up in the Alabama order against Allie Wall-Jasper into her 2nd inning of relief. Elimination game winner stays alive in Oklahoma City. A 2-run game in the 7th. And a first pitch strike. to Lafayette. Oof. Deep but foul. Lafayette, Runyon is in the on-deck circle, and then Dykes. Runyon struggling mightily. Patrick Murphy went with her because he had a hunch about her today. 1-2 on Lafayette. Two balls and two strikes.
She's been aggressive on the inner half as well. Seems like that's the side that she wants for Wall Jasper to try to spin it away and get it off the end of the bat.
Oof, a little off balance. 55 from Wall Jasper. That changeup has been a nice mix-up pitch for Wall Jasper so far in her relief out.
Just barely getting a piece of this ball. I mean, barely.
Man.
The year of that lives on.
2-2. Again, just a little cue shot foul.
Stick to that side of the plate. Still have one ball to work with here. It really looks like Lafayette is aggressive on the inner half. Make sure that, well, Jasper needs to make sure that if it's in, it's in.
Got her. One down to the seventh.
Using that outside corner and every single inch of it at 69 this time, miles an hour. She'd been working 55, 54 out there. Sped it up, got the looking K.
Here's Runyon. First pitch swinging and a flare into right field. Her first hit in 22 at bats. And that will bring the tying run to the plate. Hadn't had a hit since May the 6th. And Runyon is done. Rachel Bobo will come in as a pinch runner. And now it's Reagan Dykes, who's had one of the best freshman power seasons in Alabama history. A dozen home runs. First pitch, Wall Jasper to second, to first to end it. In time, and LSU survives. For the second consecutive season, LSU ends Alabama's campaign. And this time it ends Haley McClenny's career.
LSU stepped up, though, from hitter number one, and they were ready for this elimination game. It took Alabama a little bit to get going. Lafayette wanted it. You could tell even that McClenny wanted it. Their seniors wanted this game bad. It ended with a double play, a nice turn by Surratt. That's what Wall Jasper does, is throw ground balls. She's known for that. Huge win for LSU to beat their SEC rival.
The Tigers move on. The respect shown by many to Haley McClenny. Quinlan Duhon, a former LSU player herself.
It's an empty feeling when your season comes to an end, especially here. You want it so bad, you don't ever want it to end, but there's only going to be one team that there's only going to be one team that enters season with a win.
6-4 the final. Sandra Simmons is with Laura Rutledge.
Thank you, Adam and Sandra. A huge double play to end this one. How would you describe that final inning, knowing that they had climbed back in it?
Yeah, I think Alabama is a team that always is fighting. They are never out of a game until the game is over. So I give them tremendous props for just going out and fighting and always be there. And Allie coming in and being relentless and just staying with good composure and knowing. And our defense kind of had a little split there, but we were able to come back and finish strong, and it was an awesome feeling.
Another home run for you today. What is it about the postseason that has you stepping up?
I'm just trying to lead my team in a way that I can. They need a little spark, and I'm able to do that for them right now. I'm just trying to get to contact, and I'm making contact well right now.
Did you realize that Chuck and Linda, your grandparents, have your home run ball?
Not yet, no, but I'm sure they'll tell me right soon.
They do. We've already checked in with them, and they've got it up there. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Adam?
Senior out of Fountain Valley, California, with a big game to help LSU stay alive into another elimination game, which you'll see tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. LSU, Alabama, usually always lives up to some kind of hype. This was a good one today. Auburn and Georgia over on ESPN2 in a winner's bracket game, followed by Oklahoma and Michigan. Good ones coming up tonight. For Amanda Scarborough, Laura Rutledge, the great women and men of our crew, Adam Amin saying so long for now. NCAA Studio Update is coming up now with Pam and Sherry.